Hello, everyone. You guys, we're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We're a radio, TV, and podcast station. We are the #1 internet singles talk network. And tonight, you guys are listening to the Boy and Girl Thing show. I am Cece Schatz, and I have my good friends here with me.
And I'm Kathy Lamb.
And I'm Derek Bernard.
It's nice to see you guys this week. I don't know. It seems like it's been a long time. Now we're doing the show every 2 weeks. And it just seems like a long time, Derek.
The 2 weeks takes a long time to come around, you know. But when it arrives, we're happy to be together.
That's right. And we have 2 weeks to come up with these really great topics to sting you with.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Was this one of Kathy's topics?
What?
Kathy didn't come up with this one.
I did not.
Okay.
Right. We might put you on the spot tonight, though.
You don't take ownership for this
That's
one.
all right. That's fine.
Yeah.
I know you can handle it.
Our topic tonight is understanding women, unlocking the mystery of what women really want. So, okay, it's on the table. Take it away, Derek.
Oh my God.
Yes, Derek, I'd like to find out what you think women want.
Yes, what do you think women
Well,
want?
I don't generalize as far as what woman wants or what anybody wants. I like to get to know a person.
Taking the fifth.
No, I mean, I'm being genuine with this. From my perspective, I like to get to know a person and learn their needs, their wants, their desires, etc., and go from there. But I don't think that women are a block, you know, that all women want the same thing. Different women want different things as far as I can see and I'm concerned.
Well, what do you think, Kathy?
Well, I think he's right, you know, depending on the personality and stuff. But most of all, the first thing is they want to be respected. We want to be respected and listened to, heard. And when we speak, we don't want it to be brushed off like, oh, she's on her period or she's going through the change or whatever. You know, that is the worst thing you could say.
Yes, that's the #1 worst thing you could say.
Well, I mean,
one of those again. Or the change, right? I hear that. Oh, it's the change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you say something like that, that means that you're not listening. You're not taking anything seriously of what she's saying. They're brushing it off. You know, I've had it said to me many times. I don't know about you, Susie, but you know, you just feel like, okay, I said what I had to say, but that's the excuse, you know, for that they can come up with for why I'm saying what I'm saying. And it's like, okay, I'm not being right.
but is it what you're saying or is it how you're saying it?
Mark is saying it's a long time, can't hang out, but wanted to say hi. Oh, you can't hang out. Why?
Hi, Mark.
Wanted and needed, and what Kathy said. And what Kathy said.
Hey,
Mark, I got your support. Thank you.
And let's see, we have Johnny. He's saying, Kathy, a man would say that only he'd be ridiculous in some way.
Ridiculed.
Ridicule. Oh, okay. I don't have my reading glasses on. These are just my other glasses. Okay. He's been embarrassed. So, I don't know. So let's see. Kathy, I mean, I would say that only.
Okay, Johnny, we need you to explain that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I understand that. But let's talk a little bit about the respect thing, because we're referring to an article that was on Elite Daily, and it was one that was written by Paul Hudson, Understanding Women, Unlocking the Mystery of Women, What Women Really Want. And, you know, it goes on to say about, and I thought it was a good article because it's in the depth of a woman, right? And so she wants to be respected. But here's the thing, Kathy, and I want to kind of refer to you since you are a woman, is we want to be respected more than just be respected. We want to be respected for the depth of who we are, right? The essence of who we are, not just like, okay, yeah, she's my woman, she's my wife, she's my girlfriend, or, she does this job or that job. We women want to know that a man understands the depth of us and respects us for that. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're correct. And I can't add any other words to it because you said it well.
Thanks. So with saying that, I mean, a lot of times there's like this confusion. Men thinks it's hard to understand women, and maybe it is a little bit hard to understand a woman, especially if you're dating, if you're just getting to know the woman. But when a woman is in a full-blown relationship with a man, they've been together for a while, the woman kind of expects the man to really get her, to understand the depth of her. And so when she's getting upset at something, is she getting upset of the actual reasoning, like, okay, you left your dirty laundry, your dirty socks in the living room, or is she getting upset with the fact that she's asked you like 1,000 times and you haven't respected her wishes to pick up your stuff and you expect her to?
Hey,
there's always like this little underlying thing with women. I think there is an underlying essence to it.
Yeah, we don't like to repeat ourselves, when something is annoying to us. We don't like to keep saying it over and over again. And for some reason, I don't understand, and I don't think all men are like this, but a lot of men, they don't seem to mind you repeating it and telling them over and over again.
Let me ask you this. And I have a simple question. When we say women like to be respected,
mm-hmm.
What do we really mean by that? How do we define that?
What was the question again?
When you want to be respected, how do you define respect?
What does that really mean?
Well, there's a lot of different ways in which to show that you respect someone, but one of the things I think that gets overlooked a great deal is the fact that there's a hidden feeling or meaning or something like that. Women are much deeper. And so when we constantly say, and I'm taking something very small, but we constantly say, to do something, please help me with this. Could you do this? Could you take the garbage out? Or could you, and then you constantly forget or you don't do it or whatever. Then we start questioning the fact that, do you love us? Do you not respect us enough to do it? Do you not respect who I am? The worthiness of me? And so it goes a lot beyond that. And that's why I thought the article was kind of cool.
Well, yeah. Well, see, when you first start a relationship, everything is all nice and they're doing all of this good stuff. And, they're doing the stuff that you later on you have to tell them to do. After the honeymoon's over, they're slacking off and they're like, okay, she can take out the garbage now, and I got her, and I don't have to try so hard. And so the respect starts dying away, and then you're like, hey, wait a minute, what happened to that guy that I fell in love with? He's not doing all those things, and you start wondering,
Well, of course, you're using taking out the garbage as a metaphor, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anything. It could be your socks. And Mark says to you, Derek, pick up your socks. Respect is everything.
Well, Mark, I always pick up my own socks. Never had a problem with that, buddy.
Okay. All right. This is going to cover you up, Derek. I'm sorry about that. But can you still see it if it covers you up like that?
Well, that's fine. That's fine because it's not going to be there forever.
Okay.
Unless the man is a really smart guy, he would have no reason to say or she just has PMS, or given an excuse like that. Men feel that they need to be spoken to with respect. Remember, men are very fearful of any type of rejection. Men are like puppy dogs, and if you scold them, their attitude will be a shame on you, well, type rejection. All right, so I guess what what's his name is, I didn't see the name of the contribution, but anyway, John. I guess what John is saying is that respect goes both ways, right? I say, look, if you want to be respected in a relationship, give respect. Men don't like to feel that they have moved in with their mother, all right? So therefore, if one wants respect in a relationship, I think that first you give respect. And if both parties care about each other, they're going to respect each other. And I once read a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Mm-hmm. And I keep coming back to that book all the time. Because if we don't fuss about little mundane things, life is a lot easier. All right, suppose one day the guy comes home very tired and he takes his socks off and he leaves it on the floor. Right? Is that so annoying that you can't just pick it up from him and say, hey, hi, Joanne. Hi, hey, honey. Don't even say anything. Just pick it up and put it where it belongs. I mean, or if the wife comes in and she's too tired or whatever, what's wrong with the guy just saying, oh my gosh, my wife is so tired today or whatever. I'm going to cook dishes. Cook dinner. I'm going to wash the dishes. I'm just going to let her relax. I think the less demands people make on each other, right, is the less opportunity there is for disrespect. And we certainly, and that's what I was saying, John, the men don't like to be spoken to as though, it's my mother speaking to me all over again. Mm-hmm. Men don't like to be spoken down to, and I don't think women like to be spoken down to either.
Yeah, no, okay, the essence of the article wasn't necessarily the fact of what you say and how you say it. It was the internal makeup of a woman. Is that when you start maybe not keeping the promises that you make, then she feels internal. Okay. She takes it in and she feels.
We have deeper feelings. We take things more seriously, I think, than men. And then the article goes on that just says we want to be understood. And so along with the respect comes understanding. You got to understand why, she's feeling whatever she's feeling. Because I think that men and women, they're kind of the same in a way, because the men have a woman's side to them, and women have a man's side. That that's why we can blend together and we can actually understand each other. If we don't just say, "Oh, you're a woman," so we don't have to understand you as well.
Well, let's talk about the women want to be understood without having to explain themselves. That paragraph was really something.
All right. I think that paragraph, that statement, if it's taken on its own, is loaded, right? Because I often tell people, look, I'm not a mind reader. I can't read a mind. You got to tell me what's on your mind. But then, to me, it goes a little deeper. And women want to be as well having to explain themselves. I think that's in a slightly different direction. I can't recall exactly what the article said. But I think that when a woman, to me, that speaks to when a woman takes a certain action, right? She wants to be understood. I've done this, but I don't necessarily have to explain why I did it. Just trust me. Have faith, respect me, right? And that's what I brought that to. Because if I go in the other direction and think that that women want men to be mind readers, that's going to, scary there for me, because I don't want to have to read anybody's mind. If something is on your mind, express it, And I think that goes both ways, because some men are very uncommunicative and expect that their girlfriend or their wife will just automatically understand what they're trying to say or express. And to me, that makes for poor communications within the confines of a relationship. So I believe in a lot of communications. But again, as I said, sometimes people do things and they expect you to understand. And that's fine, because you should have enough faith to know, well, or enough trust for that person to know, well, look, this is probably why she took that action or whatever.
Okay. Kathy, what do you think about that?
Well,
being understood.
What part?
I think the article itself, it was talking about a couple different things. One is, we want to be understood maybe why we do certain things that we do. Like, why do we love our particular job? Why do we, you can take what I do as an example. Most people don't understand the passion that I have doing and connecting with singles and helping them through some difficult areas in their lives without getting paid for it, And so I've had relationships where they say, wow, just stop doing it. You're not getting paid for it, or they don't pay you enough for it, or they don't, it's all about the money, but they don't understand me and understand maybe the person that I am, why I have that passion to do that. And so I'm not understood. And, but I will tell you that I have had relationships in my life, one I can think of, that he got it all the way around. And he got who I was. He got when I made, I could say something and he could tell in my voice that something wasn't right, or my feelings might have been hurt, or, he could feel that what was going on. He understood me completely. And, but I think that's very rare for someone to really do that. What do you think?
Well, I think it takes time. It takes time to know someone in that way, to be able to interpret or read their gestures or finish their sentences. It takes a little while for that to happen, but it happens.
But also, the other party has to want to do it, because it's an expectation that women should do that with men. We should be able to figure out, oh, you come home and you're not, you've had a tough day. We can tell by your demeanor, how you behave. We can tell that a lot of your needs and wants and your desires. We can understand why you have a passion for whatever job it is that you do, but men don't always think that for women. And
yeah, they think it's easy for a woman to just drop whatever, let's say, okay, like your show there, a man comes into your life and what your show is inconveniencing his life. Mm-hmm. And so he would say, well, we need to make some changes here. And the one that has to make the changes would be you. And, and that's usually what happens, is the woman has to change what her life is all about, before
she has to join the man's religion.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have a long one here, so let's see. Women do not want cheap men. Most men complain that we are money grubbers. If you don't have the money to date us, you don't have money to date us. If you think that most men need or want a woman who can do for them, but they do not want us to share our lives. Why is that? I feel that before I was married, most men want someone like their mothers. Not in today's choice. Most women hate independence, maybe are independent and do not want to take care of no one. We want to share our lives, but not baby them, cook, clean, and be submissive towards them. Hallelujah on that one.
We she let it out.
Oh, thank you, Linda Bale, for that comment. And you know what? When you guys send your long comments like that, it touches us because we know that you're listening and you want to share, and that it's an important thing. And then also, Johnny, who we love very much. Linda, you are perfectly right. No one needs a mama's boy. It leads to problems, and it
Problems.
Problems. That too, but it depends on how many glasses of wine you have. But
yes, that is a turn off when you meet somebody and you discover that that's what your purpose is to them, and independent women, we will not stand for that.
Yeah. And, and that's not saying that we don't love our men and that we don't want to take care of them, because we do. We want to make sure that they're happy, and we want to do things for them and them appreciate back. We're not saying, that we're not, we're not that want to do stuff like that. We're just saying that we want to be treated with value, and not only we want the value of it, but I think as women, we want the understanding of the essence of who we are and our importance, and if it means, okay, well, her job needs to be more important, or whatever it is, the issue is that is important to her. So therefore it's important to me. Just like we do that all the time. It's important to you. Okay. It's important to us. So, we'll, whatever it is that we'll do. We'll make a concession. I know that Derek's going like it.
And another sign of disrespect and not being listened to is when you're talking to them and you're trying to express something, and they think that you're done with the conversation, but you're not, and they could start talking about something totally different, and you're like, well, wait a minute, I'm not done.
Yeah, it's like put the timer on.
Well, segueing is an art, and you have to have the timing, and you have to know when to do it. You can't just segue into another topic and make someone feel as though you don't care about what they're expressing. That's rude as far as I'm concerned.
Or they talk over you, and while you're still talking.
A man will treat a woman with love and honor and dignity as an equal if there is something that was not done by the husband or wife, they get up and do it yourself. What's the problem? It's not really that. It's that, I mean, this article was not about, nagging at men because they're not doing something or whatever. That's not what it's
yours. It's about more the internal feelings that you have.
Right. And it's in like this particular paragraph, what we're talking about is being understood. It's like you should be, as you said, gradually when you're into a relationship, understand your woman enough that if she's upset at something, it's not that she's upset at you. She could be upset at 1,000 million different things. Ask her, ask her what is it that's bothering you. And many times I've done that if somebody is mad at me or whatever, or they're just mad, and I'll say, okay, what are you really mad about?
That's so true, Cece. That is so true, to just sit there and just take her hand and sit down on the couch and say, okay, let's talk about what's really going on. Mm-hmm. And that would be wrong.
I will say that I don't really get mad at anyone.
Well, good for you, Tara.
I separate the person from what they have done. Mm. So I may be mad at something you have done, or I may be mad at something that you said, but I'm never mad at the person. And I make that distinction with everybody I deal with, because a lot of the times you get caught up in some emotional whirlwinds, mm-hmm. and we conflate the person with what the person has expressed, what we perceive they have done, or whatever. But the person remains separate from that, and we have to try and practice that. and understand that, not because somebody does something off key or does something that you don't like, that it means that you don't like the person anymore. You still love that person.
Well, yeah.
And you should be confident enough in your relationship and communicative enough to say, honey, I really didn't like where that went, or I didn't like what you did, I didn't like what you said, or what you did not do. And I think that solves a lot of problems in that direction.
Yeah. And I think the big key, the takeaway for me in this article is the fact that especially for women, if you want to know about a woman, is there's underlying deep stuff going on. You know what I mean? And so if you're hearing that she's angry or upset or whatever, it may not even have anything to do with you. It could just have something to do with what's going on with her. Maybe she's not happy with her life path or whatever, and she's sacrificing, or there's could be a lot of things going on. And what happens with women, and I don't know, maybe I could be wrong, but a lot of times when something surfaces, it's something little, and has nothing to do with what the real issue is with women.
Precisely.
Well, when something comes up, something that's upsetting comes up, and not necessarily about the guy. It could be something else, like the dog pooped in the wrong place or something. And little things start getting up, and they build up, and pretty soon she's angry at the guy, for whatever little thing he did. But she's really angry, at the beginning where the dog pooped in. But then she's like, starting to think about, oh, well, this happened, and then she's starting to wonder about, oh, well, trying to tie all these things together and figure out why, all of these things are making her mad, and pretty soon she's blaming the guy.
Yeah. Well, and also, okay, here's the thing, is if she gets mad at him, he knows that he's gonna, he left his damn socks in the living room again. She's not mad necessarily at that particular action, even though she wasn't happy with it. It's what triggered all the other things that happened. And so if he's smart enough, he just lets her get a little bit angry or whatever, let her get it out because she just needs to get it out. But then say to her, okay, what's going on? Because I know it can't just be those socks. And all that takes is somebody saying that, and the appreciation and the love we have for that person, it's 100-fold, because it's not necessarily we want to share, all the miserable things that happened in the day for us. It's that you cared enough to ask us about it. And most of the time, men don't do that. They don't do that.
Because, Kathy, most of the times, men don't have the presence of mind because they themselves may have been getting things that made them mad during the course of the day. And then when they come home and they're confronted now with this person who is shooting off the mouth at them or who is mad at them, they react in a negative way, and then the whole thing conflates into two people being mad at each other who are not really mad at each other, but there are a number of antecedent pieces of incidences that cause them to be mad, and they forget about the personage that they're dealing with, but they just have this emotion and they think they're mad at each other.
That brings us to the next paragraph of caring.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he really cared about her, he'd sit down and say, hey, let's talk about this, because it's not the socks. I mean, what's going on?
And then the thing is, if he doesn't do that, we're sitting there thinking, he doesn't even care.
Right.
And you think all these, then you're starting to think of all of the little instances from the past,
right,
popping up.
From 2 years ago, right?
That's what loved me, because he didn't go stand
And he said,
How many times all of this stuff happened? It's like he doesn't care enough to do that, and you're just
sitting down there thinking, she didn't even ask me on my day when she doesn't really care about me. And sooner or later, the question comes up, and what the hell are we doing together? You know, so I ask a simple little question, right?
Okay.
What really has you disturbed? What is it? And then when I get the answer, I ask another question. How does that make you feel? Right? And I try to chunk down and separate things into their little compartments, because the woman has, and I might be wrong, but I think that women have a way of not expressing themselves when some little thing throws them off.
You know what? If a man asked me that question, how does that make you feel? I would probably get upset with him for asking me that question, because then I would be thinking, listen, because I would be thinking that he's trying to pretend like he's a psychiatrist, and I'm thinking,
no.
Well, so my response would be, well, you're supposed to know how I feel. What are you talking about? You're supposed to know how I feel.
And I don't know, and that's the reason I'm asking. You know, I want to know.
There's a different way to ask that question. Well, maybe other women would be okay with that, but I'm not me. So I guess
the best way. Okay, here's the thing, guys out there. The best thing to say is, "Sweetheart, I love you. What can I do better?" What's happening here? What?
I would be happy to say. I'd be happy for him saying that let's figure out how we can make this good. You know, I'd be happy with that.
Okay, I mean, different people communicate in different ways, and then that's a suggestion that you can make in retort.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? The thing is
figuring out your woman. That's a key. Is figuring out your woman and how she interacts with things. And I think that's in a relationship building, that's a key thing that gets missed, is that we think all relationships are the same, they're cookie cutter, and they're not, because women are not all the same.
Well, that's what I said in the very beginning.
More in depth than others. And so you really have to, and I think Johnny hit it on the head too about communication, and you've said it many times, is of course the communications, but I think a woman that's really very centered, and one that's knows herself and really in tune with herself, wants her man to also feel and be the same way.
Well, communication is one thing, but we would need to know that you actually heard what was said, but we communicated to you. And when you know that part is done, then that is also has to do with respect too. That you understood, that means you respected her.
Well, right. I mean, communications is understanding. It's not just hearing. It's listening.
Sometimes that's all.
And understanding. But then if you're not doing that, you're not communicating.
Right.
Yeah. What's funny is when my kids were little, I would say something to them, and then I would say, like, if I was lecturing them or whatever, and I could tell there's minds, especially the boys, their minds are slipping, right? They're thinking about something else, and I make them repeat it back. Sometimes they couldn't do it.
I remember that too.
But they weren't really listening to what I said, right? And so when they started understanding that I was going to start doing that more and more, then they started paying more attention to me, and they could repeat it back to what I was saying. So that way they had a clear understanding of what I wanted them to do, why I wanted them to do it, and that it needed to be done like this in the future. And so, and that really truly helped. But, they're different. Let's do the next one before we run out of time. The next paragraph was women want to be cared for.
Oh, women want to be loved. Is it that?
And we want to be loved. And I think that the trick here too about the cared for, so often men think that that's money, that she's just money grabber, like Linda had mentioned, And it's not about money. Women want to know that you've got their back. There's, I've been in relationships where I've had his back, but he never had mine. Push come to shove, then I found out, whoa, wait a minute, what kind of person are you? Because it was all centered around him. And so I think that women also need that, you've got my back, if I can't do this, are you going to do it? And,
Right.
The roles, the responsibilities. What do you say, Kathy?
Well, yeah, definitely. We want to know that they have our back, just as we would have their back. And you just want to feel like everything that we give, you want to feel like it's given to you too. Everything with all the feelings and all of that, you want to feel like you're getting all of that too. I don't know how else. There is another way to say this, but I'm not coming up with it.
Yeah, I kind of understand what you're saying, and that kind of goes into the love thing. It's like, the caring and the love part is really important to a woman, and it's especially important because we want to know that no matter what, you're there for us, no matter what the situation is. And we tend to be more emotional, don't we? We tend to be a little bit more emotional. Men tend to be more detailed and pragmatic. They want to solve the problem. But women were more, we really do wear our heart on our sleeve. And so you have to look at things differently and deal with it differently. You have to talk differently, and understand differently.
It kind of brings me to my first marriage. Is my husband would tell me no a lot of times when I would ask him for to do this or do that, and he'd just flat out say no, and I'm like, it would freak me out because I'd be like, well, I don't understand. I'd do that for you, why won't you do that for me? And it's just never helped. He just do what I asked him to do.
Yeah, but there again, it's that then you felt not respected. Mm-hmm. You didn't feel like he cared about you.
Yeah,
and then it gets down when it goes on and on and on. You think, well, where is the love? How could someone love me and treat me like this?
Yeah.
And then Johnny was talking about age, especially at our age. I'm not sure what that was referring to. Maybe that was the about the money thing. I really think, and we obviously when this does come, we're afraid as we get older age, we know there now. Yeah, well, maybe we learn by our mistakes, huh? Maybe that's what he's saying.
Yeah. And we think during our lifetime, we're going to make sure that the next relationship is not going to have those things that are going to, be wrong.
Mm-hmm. And maybe we take, when we're younger, maybe we were taking relationships for granted, both men and women, a little bit for granted, because you're building a family, you're building your careers, you're building your family. There's a whirlwind of things that are happening. And now when we're older and some of us are alone, we truly have an appreciation for someone that is stepping up to the plate and says, hey, I want to be a partner and let's make this work, So, but yeah. So, well, we're getting down to the wire. Any last minutes on this subject? So we'll go around the table. Kathy, you want to start first?
What is it? It was respect. What was the other one?
Understanding.
Respect, understanding, and care.
Understanding, caring, and love.
And love.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those are all good things. And we touch base on a lot of stuff, for men to maybe listen to this again and maybe get some good tips on how to treat their woman if they already have one, or one that's in line to be a relationship.
Yeah, that's good. What about you, Derek? What do you have to say?
Well, I would say whether it's respect, understanding, caring, love. The last one was connectivity. Well, what is any of those things? I will.
Did we miss that one?
I think so.
Pardon?
We missed connectivity.
Oh, yeah, we did. We did miss it. Establish a
It says,
connection.
above all, they want to establish a connection. They don't want to be alone.
Connection should be
That's one we didn't get to. But anyway, whether it's any one of those things, I will tell you that women and men want exactly the same thing. There is no difference between what a woman wants in a relationship and what a man wants.
I think they want the same thing in different ways, though.
Well, it might be expressed differently.
The perspective on those things are different.
Right, it might be expressed differently. A man might express it in a different way from a woman expresses it. But when it comes to it, deep down inside, you really want the same things. And I've always said that people, that a relationship is a giving and sharing experience. It's an experience where you really have to share yourself with the other person. And that really comes down to it. And if you're not prepared to do that, then don't have a relationship.
Yeah, that's very well said. You know, I would close the show with saying that, you know, the core of a woman is very, very special, and it needs to be treated very gently, kind, and with love, and most of all, respect. And I think so often that is not done because one looks at action. You know, they look at the duties, the deeds, the things like that takes place within, you know, within the environment. They don't look at the core of the person that's doing those deeds and those actions and the sacrifices that they might have made on their own abilities or their own time or their own desires and wants, you know. So often women put their families, their husbands, their partners ahead of themselves. And when now in today's world where women are stopping and saying, listen, you know, I want to be treated as you want to be treated, then we're looked at as being independent women, you know. And so, yeah, women can take home the bacon, you know, and we can fry it up in the pan, but we don't have to always wash that pan, okay? So, I mean, I think that she can go sit on the sofa and watch TV and drink a beer if she wants as equally. But understanding the essence of a woman and understanding the essence of your partner is something that's worthwhile. And I think that if you do that and you can really be in tune with her, you know, if you're looking at establishing a partnership with someone that you're starting to date, you start working on the essence of understanding her, what makes her tick, why does she get upset or she doesn't get upset, or what you know, what her passions are. I think truly you can have a very blessed relationship. And but it's understanding that core and respecting and loving and, you know, really understanding the core of the person. So that's all I got to say. So I hope you guys like the topic today. And if you don't, you better write in and tell us what you want to hear.
Yeah, we've got good topics every week. It seems like we're coming up with some good stuff.
That's right. And we try to beat Derek up as much as we can, ladies.
That's okay. My shoulders are broad. And my head is big.
Loves it. He loves all that. Loving we give on him each and every 2 weeks.
Yes. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, you're listening to the Boy and Girl Thing. I am Cece Schatz. I have my good friends with me.
Kathy Lamb.
And I'm Derek Bernard, and I want to say thank you for all of you who wrote into us tonight, who participated in the program. We love it when you do that. See you next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we do. We love it very much. You guys, we're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We're a radio, TV, and podcast station. We're the #1 internet singles talk network. And we want to thank you so much for joining us. We hope we'll see you right back here. Next week will be the Chick's Passion. And then after that, the Boy and Girl Thing. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. See you all.